Hello everyone, my name is Yasemin. I work at Cambridge University Press. Also, in ALT, I'm a certified yoga teacher and well-being practitioner. And I'm very happy to be here with you today because I will be sharing with you some very simple, safe, and maybe a bit fun practices that you could use in your classroom, online and offline. And through you, we can reach thousands and thousands of students, and we help our learning community to learn better. So, in terms of practicalities, so I will be taking you through some breathing practices, then some body practices, and at the end, if we have time, also I will show you some icebreaker relationship building, connection building exercises. And then you will have 15 minutes at the end to have questions. You can pop your questions into Q&A box at the bottom on the left, and I will go through this as soon as I can at the end of the practice. Don't worry if you miss some of the practices. This will be available in our YouTube channel in the weekend, so you can catch up there later. So why we are starting with breathing. Breathing, there's a strong connection with breathing, how we feel and how our body works. When we feel safe in our normal life and everything is normal, we have a more rhythmic, more balanced, harmonious breathing, more flowing breathing. But when things start getting wrong, when we are stressed, when we came across situation could be really challenging, or even could be some small arguments with friends and people around us, our nervous system responds to that as a danger, and then all our body starts working completely differently. 1400 physical and chemical reactions started happening when we feel stress in the body. And in response to that, our breath change and it becomes very quick, very shallow on the chest like this. So our breathing responds how we feel, but also it works other way around. When we feel stress and all these chemical reactions happening in the body, all organs working with full capacity to save us from that situation, then if you start looking at your breath, if you notice your breath is really actually very quick, shallow, if you start extending the breath, making breath more rhythmic, more flowing, then your body suddenly have a signal saying, oh, danger is away. Now I can go back to normal. This is why we are specifically today covering the breath. There are a lot of other benefits of breath, having a lot of oxygen in the body. What we are also releasing from the body, it's very much related to breath. So let's start with the breathing practice. This one could be practiced by all ages, from primary, secondary, and higher levels. So let's do it together. So left hand on the chest, right hand on the belly. Close your eyes. This is exactly how you would do with your student, and it is completely safe. Bring your attention to your breathing and just notice, how is your breathing today? How is your heartbeat? Is your breathing rhythmic, flowing? Or is it staggered? Are you holding your breath at any time? What is the length of your inhale and exhale? Are they even? Or maybe your exhale is shorter? So what we want is to put all this together. So now, please start counting your breaths. Maybe you are at the moment, maybe you are breathing with the count of 3 and exhaling count of 3. We would like to take it up to 4, and then we will extend the exhale even more to calm the nervous system. So let's start taking slow deep breaths to the belly, to your right hand, and exhale. Inhale to the belly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale to belly, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna expand the exhale a little bit longer. Inhaling in the count of 4. And exhaling at the count of 5. So when you do this, you can guide the students with counting, or you can do a couple of times and then let them to do that. In order to help with slower exhale, you can open the mouth a little bit as if you're gonna whistle and blow the air through your mouth. So let's do it one more time together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now open your eyes. So this is a very, very small and simple technique. So keeping the breath, keeping inhale and exhale at the count of 4, it's very good and very balancing. And it's good for bringing the focus back. It's good for also grounding. If you feel that your students are really stressed, for example, there was an argument in the class or there's an exam afterwards, you can actually start guiding them through extending the exhale to 5, and a couple of breaths with 5, and then a couple of breaths with 6, and then maybe take them to the 7. So this is a very basic, very simple breathing technique to calm the nervous system. The other one is breathing through the mouth, and as you exhale, releasing the body physically and making a sound. So let's do it together. Breathing all the way to the belly, and exhale. You can even use the arms. That inhale to belly, and exhale. This owl sound is really good for heart as well, and for healing. So now let's say you have some students having some challenging, especially they are not everybody in the, you will have a mix of people in the class. Some will have very low energy, some will be very active, some will be very nervous. For those cases, the one we did is very good, both of them. And the third one you could do in those cases, and also get their attention back, get them focused back to what you are teaching, is alternate breathing. So for this, we will be using the different nostrils, and we will be inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, and inhaling through the right and exhaling through the left. Left nostril activates the right loop of the brain, and right nostril activates the left loop of the brain. So I will explain this a little bit more. So let's now do a practice. So for this, you will need to use the fingers. So they can basically put the hands on top of each other, right hand on the top, right index finger closing the right nostrils. Inhale through the left. And then close the left, open the right, and exhale through the right. Now inhale through the right, close the right, open the left, and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left again, close the left, open the right, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close, and exhale through the left. So this is alternate breathing. You can count that as well if you want, or you can just guide them through inhale through, exhale through, right, and so on. And this is a really good one to do in the mornings as well when you wake up. And in any situation you feel ungrounded, uncentered, and a little bit out of focus. And this could be done up to 2-3 minutes, or could be done even 3 circles like this would be very, very useful. So now, let's say you have with a students, group of students, or a couple of students, they're really, really struggling with stress. They might have some argument with each other, or in some way or another, they are feeling stressed, they are angry, they are really a bit ungrounded. So for that, we will be using again left nostril breathing. Left nostril breathing associated with the right side, which is more internal and which makes us more calm. This is more what artist uses. So this part of the brain makes us more calm and more receptive and more grounded. So for that, the students will need to close their right nostril with one of the fingers and inhaling through the left, exhaling through the left very, very slowly. This is really important. So sitting in a comfortable position, upright, inhale through the left and exhale through the left. This is one. And second, inhale through the left, exhale. Inhale and exhale. When you finish 20 breathing from the left nostril, let go of the right and then open the legs if they are sitting and bending forward all the way down towards the floor, releasing the arms on the floor, releasing the head. So really dropping the head, crown of the head towards the floor, letting go of the neck, really relaxing the shoulders, upper back, and just sinking down towards the floor. So this is sitting version. You could take them also, do the same thing on standing, and then when they finish 20 breathing from the left nostril, they will drop down the upper body. They can bend the knees and really letting go of the head, letting go of the arms. They can swing the arms if you feel slowly. So lowering the head from the heart is really good for the dealing with stress. So this is to deal with stress. What about you have a group of students and maybe towards the end of the class and you see they are almost sleeping. They lost their energy, they lost their attention. And this could be different reasons. Maybe there's not much oxygen in the room, or maybe they're not taking enough oxygen to their body. For that, there is a breathing practice as well. So this works on the opposite nostril, right nostril, which is as it activates the left part of the brain, which is more analytical, more fiery, more active. So it's the opposite to the right side of the brain. So for that, it is completely opposite to the left. So closing the left nostril and inhaling through the right very quickly. So let's do this together for 20. This will be a quick one. Closing the left and start inhaling and exhaling. And release. So this is just a 20 quick breath from the right. And then we can from here start moving some body movements, moving the shoulders, rolling the shoulders. You would also, if you see students are walking around with tense shoulders, it means that they might have feeling of holding too much. So this is a bodily reactions of the same feeling. Our body and feelings are very much connection to each other. So just rolling the shoulder. And as you roll the shoulder, ask students to roll the shoulder and tell them when you roll, just imagine you're dropping all the burden, all the weight, everything from your shoulder and really relaxing the shoulders. And then moving the head from side to side. So opening all the blockages. And then moving the head forward and backward. And then another one is really good, also very good for improving helping the lungs and the heart with better breathing. We're bringing the fingertips to the shoulders and elbows together, and then start making circles. Inhaling as you open the elbows to the side, exhale together. So when you open, notice your chest is really widening, so your ribs are widening. It means you are creating space for the lungs, and then you can have more oxygen in the lungs. There is no muscles in the lungs. That's why we need to create space for them. Now, other way around. So also when you bring the elbows together, you're stretching the back of the upper back. Just a couple of times, a few times is enough, and then shaking the arms. And now from here, I would like to share with you a very, very good body shaking practice. This is a very nice, it could be a very fun practice to the class if you are doing with everyone together, so you can just invite students to come to the center and really loosening the legs, opening the legs into a comfortable place, maybe a little bit wider than the hips, and then loosening the knees and start shaking. So this shaking, it works in both in physical and psychological levels. So it's so you can ask students to bring their attention, maybe to start with shoulders again. So as you're shaking the shoulders up and down, shaking the hands, getting rid of any weight from the hands, really shaking the hands, removing any tension from the wrists. And these days we're all using so much keyboards and mouse that create a lot of tension on the wrist. And the shoulders again, you can tell them like just dropping all the weight from the shoulders. Maybe they can open the chest towards the ceiling and really shaking. They can swing from one leg to other, or they can remain on the floor and bounce as they shake. So bouncing on the knees and lifting the arms up. These all also clears the blockages from the lymphatic system, help with the circulation, and we have more oxygen goes into the cells and the brain. So really shaking, and then shaking the hips. So if you have a music, you can put a music and you could do this with the music. Because we have very limited time, I'm not actually able to do that now. And then shaking the legs. Also, it's a really good one to release some of the anger and the tension from the body, which is grumpy old lady kicking posture. So this is a very, very old Chinese practice. Imagine holding a stick and then kick with one of the hands, and then a couple of steps and kick with the other one. And then the other one, and the other one. Okay, now you would feel your energy lift up, your heartbeats lift up. So this is a really good one to do. You can to do in the classroom when things get really maybe a little bit quiet, you don't have much communication in both ways. Now, the second one is tapping. So tapping is also very healthy. It activates the endocrine system, activates the glands and hormones. So with the hands tapping to the right side of the chest, even going up to the side of the neck and going down from the outside of the arm. This is also used in Qigong practices, and then coming up from the inside. This helps with the clearing the blockages in the lymphatic system as well, going down, and then same thing on the other side. And then going down through the outside of the arms and coming up from the inside. You can go all the way down, tapping the legs and coming up. And the final one with the tapping is tapping the chest. This activates the thymus here, which is very good for our immune system. And when you're tapping, you can also ask them to make an R sound. So let's do this one together. And release. Now, I think we have 10 minutes. I think I can also show you the jawbone massage. So you would see one of the maybe challenges with the young generation and also old generation too, to express themselves, express the anger, express the disappointment, expressing difficult feelings. So you would feel, for example, when you're angry, we may tend to shout because those anger builds up in this area. There's a big tissue starting from here, going all the way through the back of the body, reaching to the top of the toes. So that anger we have that accumulated in this area, and especially the people who have problem with squeezing the teeth, that means that there are a lot of accumulation here. And massaging the jawbone, opening the mouth, and when you open the mouth, you can also open and close, and like imagine you inhaling just through the mouth like this. And then massaging at the same time. So really massaging the jawbone, relaxing the jawbone, going through the ears, really massaging that area. If you have anyone around you with the problem squeezing the teeth, I would really recommend you to advise them this technique. And then you can also massage the back of the ears and go and massage the base of the skull. There's a vagus nerve starting from here. Massaging that area activates that nerves, and it is again really good for nervous system and immune system. When we freeze emotionally, that is what needs to be activated. So really massaging that area. And again, for that is really good to lower the head down and make an R sound in this position. And the final step of this, stage of this could be a challenge to do in the classroom, but you could, when working online, I think that's a good opportunity to teach and practice this with students. So coming to the force and tapping the top of the feet, especially the top of the toes, tapping them to the floor. So that activates, works on that tissue I mentioned going through the back of the body. So doing this just for maybe 30 seconds, It would be very useful. Okay. So I think there are a lot of stretching practice you could do. You could also do the sideways stretching, both in the classrooms and also working online together. So opening anything opening the chest, anything widening the chest, and also widening the back helps student a lot with how they feel, and dropping the head lower than their heart. And you can become even creative on those. So there is no harm on any of this. So please be comfortable practicing those practices. As long as they don't feel any pain, it is all safe. Pain is a signal of the body that something going wrong. So if there's a pain, then they can maybe not open the arms all the way, but maybe keep it a little bit closer. So they can take one step back and see if there's still pain or not. So as long as there is no pain, they're all perfectly healthy, and so the breathing practices. As long as the only condition I think for breathing practice is if they had a very recent heart surgery or any big surgery, then it would be good to wait for full recovery. Apart from that, they're all safe. So let's talk about creating positive connection with the students. We have a couple of minutes. So I think one of the biggest challenge we have at the moment, especially with COVID, and I know most of you also working maybe online or working with smaller number of students, and we completely isolated from each other. Even we are in the same place, we don't touch each other. Students to make connection, maybe at the moment not physical connection, not hugging each other, for example, but you could, for example, at the beginning of the class, this could be done online. So everybody sits, and if it is online version, for example, they open their online platform, and without talking for 30 seconds, just people without talking, they look at each other. Just make eye contact, or just acknowledge who is in there. So this is really good one. And in the classroom, what would be good? Bringing them together and asking them, go and find someone that you haven't talked this morning, and go and talk to that person for 2 minutes, have a chat. This can take up only 5 minutes at the beginning of the class, but these small practices will really lift up the energy, and they will be looking forward to your classes. So asking them, go and talk to someone they haven't said hi in the morning, they haven't talked to, or they could, every time you could do something different. In another day, you could say, okay, now, for example, online version, put them into randomized breakout rooms and say, you have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you can decide what time, tell each other something that no one knows about you, or compliment each other. Just look at each other for a few seconds and make a compliment. Doesn't have to be physical. It could be also if they know each other, they could be about their skills, their behaviors, their achievements, anything. Or tell them no one knows about themselves, or tell them something nice happened to you recently. You could give them lot of different subjects, but this has to be really personal. So the aim here is not, they will be practicing this English, of course, but the aim here also here to making connection, improving the connection between them. And also the other one, just going and finding someone in the room they haven't talked to, and they look at each other in the eyes and they smile. And if after COVID they can hug each other, if that is culturally acceptable where you live. So those are the type of, I think, activities and reminders for look at for importance of each other and making connection, personal connection with each other, and giving students chance. If they haven't, for several reasons, different reasons, if they haven't connected, they might actually a good chance for them to connect. And the final one is the laughing practice. There is a yoga called laughter yoga. So, and this is really practiced, and there is retreats on that. And basically what is done during this laughter yoga is laughing. So you can have all the students standing or sitting, doesn't matter, and just doing some laughing. Like let's stand up, and before we finish, we finish our 30 minutes before the Q&As, let's do a little bit laughing together. So you can bring the hands on the tummy. We can start with belly laughing, like and then go to different types of laughing. You can pretend as if you are laughing to someone, or you are laughing at to yourself, or you are laughing to each other. If in a classroom, they can go and find some, they can switch in, between each other, and they go and laugh each other and go to other one, and they can point each other while laughing. It's just basically any forms of laughing. And I think I need to now stop to give you a chance to have some questions, if you have some. Yes. So the first question is, could you mention any educational book related with mindfulness, meditation, or yoga? If you know, of course. Thank you very much. Okay, there is a, I can't remember, there are a lot of books. There is one written by Mark, but I can't remember the last name. I can maybe send that to you later. There is one very common, and there is also a DVD comes with the book. And this is therefore a really, really good one to start with. And this is the one I started with. There are 8 different mindfulness practices in it, and each done over a week, and very basic mindfulness practices, listening to the sounds, listening to your breath, listening, watching outside and things like that. And it is also, I think there's a research on it. So this is a really good one. I will send you this separately. This was from Marta. Is it okay trying these exercises in class, even wearing a mask? Okay, so unfortunately, the breathing practice, I know, I think this could be a challenge to do in the classroom. If it would still work, but it wouldn't work. I want to be very honest here. With the mask, because you are not having fresh air, is not going to make the same effect. What I was wondering, would it be possible, for example, to go out if you have a garden in the school and have some space between the students and maybe do that in this way? With online, definitely, I think under these conditions, it would work better. But I think with the masks, it won't work as it would normally. This was from Miro. Sorry for my pronunciation. And Sakina asks, can we use some music with the breathing exercises? Definitely. You can use, depending on which age group you are working, you can use any calm instrumental or any type of music. That would be really, really good, yes. But it shouldn't take their attention. That is the key. So they should be really connected to their breathing. And there is one from Ahlem, shaking, bouncing, swinging during the session. The question that we are often asked, are you a funny teacher? Should we answer yes then? I don't think there's nothing wrong with being funny teacher. That what the thing is, I've done this practice with our board in ELT in Cambridge University Press. So I think we all need this. And as you, shaking practice is practice across a lot of different traditions, and it is becoming more and more common. I think if you combine it, shake one day shaking, the other day I forgot to mention, it could be just body movements, any body movements, that doesn't have to be like a dance, but moving, just playing a music and asking students to move their body. It could be even sitting. It could be really not necessarily to be an aesthetic movements. These are very, very good. I would not worry about funny. I think they might start doing by after seeing from you. So you can try and see if students are engaging and if it helps them. I think that is the point. And Sakina, how much time can we do this in an hour lesson? So you wouldn't do all of this in your classes. So I showed you a lot of different things. So you could, for example, maybe do a breathing practice for 1-2 minutes, 3 minutes. And one of the, maybe you can do you can do shaking in one class and then tapping in another class, and doing the stretching the shoulders. You could do this when you see students are, a good number of students started really crunching themselves, rolling forward. You could do this. So you don't have, you wouldn't do this all together, because if you do all together, it will be a well-being class. So you would need to choose. For breathing, 2-3 minutes, that's enough. I think for all of them, it will take maximum 2 to 3 minutes. And another question from Carla. After long hours of being in front of the computer, what would be good exercise to deal with poor circulation? Or perhaps something we could do while teaching? So the shaking definitely is a great one for circulation. And the ones I showed you, moving the shoulders, stretching to the sides. There's a lymphatic system. It's like a branch of a tree. It's really goes through this area and also in this area. So moving that area, it really helps. And yeah, I think the ones I showed would be really useful. And you could do, of course, more things, but we won't be able to cover all this. But stretching to the side, stretching forward, walking as much as you can during the class would help. But especially, I think for you, I would really suggest focusing on the upper body, upper part of the body, and shaking and tapping. And there's one with Umar. Well, we can motivate the children to do such exercise, but how can we motivate teenagers to do these techniques as they usually feel shy? I think this is the point. I know it is quite challenging to work with high schools, and maybe secondary school is in between, but you can start introducing them very slowly. Maybe you can start with breathing, and then making with R sounds, and then maybe another class rolling the shoulders. And then if you join them also when you do this, they will be, I think slowly they will start opening up. So for example, moving to this body movements like dance type of thing that we haven't done, but I've just mentioned, it could be something you could do more later. But shaking, you could start, for example, just bouncing, and then shaking the arms like this, and then going to deeper a little bit later. So as when you start doing this, they will definitely be shy at the beginning, but as you go, it will become normal. I think you will need time for that. Also, what would you, also there is from D. Also, what would you suggest for a crick in the neck? I'm not sure what do you mean here. You mean the pain in the neck. So the movements I mentioned with these movements also is good for the neck, and moving the neck from side to side, or dropping your chin to your chest, and then moving it to one shoulder, and from one shoulder to other shoulder. So making half circles with your chin on the chest, and then lifting the shoulders and doing the same on the back. This is a really good one for neck, so you could try this. And also you can try dropping the head and waiting for a while that tissues, that muscles to open up, and other way around. I have, in YouTube, I have a lot of 15-minute classes that I've done in CUP, in Cambridge University Press colleagues. They're all recorded in my YouTube channel. So you would find some recordings for neck, some for lower back, some for hips. You can maybe go and try them and see if those helps. So there's one from Emer. I can imagine my students laughing at me. How would you deal with that? Okay, so this is really difficult one to answer, because I don't know you might be feeling, I mean, there could be different reasons. Is it all of the students or some of them? Because some students tend to make, tend to have this attitude across all of the people. So I would, I think if I was a student, if I was a teacher, this is really difficult to respond here without having a deeper conversation. But I think if you could maybe try making some connection with students out of the class and try communicating and try to understand the cause, I would not worry and I would not give my attention to that, to be honest, very specifically. Because when you give those attention, it will actually, you might have more of this. So maybe you might try just ignoring that and carry on with your teachings, carry on, be confident, and carry on, I think, your attitudes with the students. And apart from that, maybe connecting them separately out of the class, and maybe just not saying why you are laughing, but trying to understand, are you okay? Is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk to me? I can see you, something like that. That is a bit out of my remit. So there's one from Subhash. Do you have any video or for releasing stress? So I have, so this one will be in YouTube, and this one definitely I would recommend to try this yourself with your family. These are not just for students, these are really good for releasing stress, and especially breathing practices. I have some breathing practices for releasing stress. They're all in YouTube. So if you search for Yasemin Aslan or Yasemin Bayravi, you would find my YouTube videos for breathing for stress. And there is one from Patrizia Fiore. I would like to have the title of the book on mindfulness as well. Okay, maybe we will put the name of the book, we will email you or put into our YouTube channel. Please repeat the book's title. I missed. Mindfulness. It is called Mindfulness, a green book, and the author name is Mark, but I can't remember the last name. So maybe you can have a quick search and see if it comes. It's very well known. Are all breath exercises shall be from nose, either inhale and exhale. So Alternate nostril, yes, these are from the nostrils through the breathing. There was only one I said you could use the mouth breathing. So this is inhaling through the mouth and exhaling with a release, with maybe with our sound like so releasing through the mouth, it has a very good calming effect for the nervous system. And we have 1 minute only, so I'm sorry if I'm not able to answer all of the questions. May I use your video with my classes, please? Yes, of course, you can use. The other question, what elements might keep students from relaxing during exercise like this? How to overcome distract and disbelief in students? What might keep students from relaxing during exercise? They're right, they're well. It really depends, because these are helpful things, but if they have deeper issues, they will need to work with a therapist to have more help. But these ones will definitely help at some levels. And other question, do we need to take students outside the class to these exercises? Can we do it in the class itself? You can do it in the class, but because at the moment, if you have to wear the mask in the classroom, that's why I was suggesting then maybe you can go out to fresh air and do it. By the way, doing this in fresh air outside is even better. So if you have such luxury, if you have such opportunity, do it outside, but doesn't have to be outside. I want to ask you about more relaxing exercises for teeth squeezing. Are there any? So I would really, really recommend doing this jaw massaging exercises. And breathing through the mouth, opening and closing. Try this. This is very, very effective. And then if you still have more help, then you can come to me and then we can talk about it. I am so sorry, but now I have to close because it's time over and I can see there's still 20 questions. So I can try maybe responding some of this separately. But I think I will have to now close the session. I'm sorry. It's been really, really good to be here with you. And I hope to see you again somewhere and maybe in the next school festival. Take care. Lots of love. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.